Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmadu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. Chief Justice, Supreme Court of Pakistan, Chief Justices of Provincial High Courts, Chairman, Joint Chief of Staff, Chief of the Army Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, and Air Chief. I am Khalid Ahmed Chaudhry, overseas Pakistani, speaking from the legal capital of the world, The Hague, Netherlands, reaching you to request to help me to be hanged till death at the Constitution Avenue of Islamabad, because of the present judgment and the capital punishment announced against the former Chief of Army Staff, labeling him as a traitor of Islamic Republic of Pakistan. This is the most tragic scenario exactly after 16th of December, when we were talking about the tragedy of East Pakistan and the APS school Peshawar massacre. I dare to say that the verdict against General Pervez Musharraf isn't against an individual, but it is against the armed forces of Pakistan. In a time and in a geopolitical scenario when Pakistan is facing grave challenges to her security and stability, and when the only institution of Pakistan, the armed forces institution, is functioning perfectly, none of others, judiciary, have been totally failed in performing according to the needs and demands of justice. Corruption within the judiciary, it's not a secret. Please go to the 220 million citizens of Pakistan and ask them. The genocide of the justice, I have been debating. I'm the only Pakistani who have been debating with the president judges of the International Court of Justice as well as International Criminal Court. Not only the presidents, I have been debating with the judges of the both courts at regular basis. Besides, I have been debating with the renowned lawyers from the United States of America, from the European Union, and from other parts of the world on the issues of global justice, peace, human rights. I never ever keep my mouth shut, blaming the international community in their failure in preventing wars, global conflicts, military interventions. Thanks to the democracy of the Netherlands, I could debate more than twice with the Dutch Chief of Defense, who once was the commander of Joint Task Forces in Afghanistan. I was highly critical, telling the general, you will never ever win the war in Afghanistan through guns and bullets, but helping Afghanistan for national reconciliation, to form a national government. I have debated twice with the former Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, criticizing the United States leaving Pakistan after the defeat of Soviet Union, the defeat which was never ever possible without the help and support of Pakistan Army. US senators, congressmen, diplomats, think tanks, or the European Union heads of states, heads of governments, cabinet ministers, parliamentarians. I have been always in debate with them. Almighty Allah provided me the chances and ability and the courage to say what need to be said. I remember my debate with Mr. Hamid Khan, former president of Supreme Court of Pakistan, when he was supporting the rehabilitation of the former Chief Justice Iftikhar Chaudhry. And I had to say to Hamid Khan, CJ, under who the judiciary is not functioning properly, not providing justice, it takes ages, it takes generations to get justice. How come that all of a sudden, within a night, you want to make him a hero and a revolutionary? Again, I debated with the former federal law minister of Pakistan, Sayyid Iqbal Haider, when he was talking about the sacred cow, the judiciary. No, we should not talk about judiciary. We should not. Contempt of court. And I had to confront the law minister. I don't want to believe that judiciary is a sacred cow. I told him, I have been meeting the Chief Justices of Netherlands Supreme Court, the judges. I know the functioning of the judicial system and the judiciary, which is providing justice. But I always felt ashamed when the same judges used to laugh, telling me about Pakistan's judiciary. That we are hearing there is a lot of corruption going on in Pakistan's judiciary. From the higher courts to the lower courts, and from the lower courts to the higher courts. How come they used to put question on me that Pakistan is an Islamic country? And how come that people have to pay at every step for the justice? Now coming to the present highly controversial anti-Pakistan, anti-state, anti-armed forces verdict against the former Chief of Army Staff. I had a debate with the former judge of Pakistan Supreme Court, Justice Khalid Ahmed. And he was talking about justice, law, rule of law. And I had to raise a question in front of a few international figures in public. I said, Justice Ramde, help me please. You are one of those judges who took oath at PCO, Provisional Constitutional Order. And you specifically said, while taking oath, I know that not only the one who abrogate, suspend the Constitution of Pakistan according to the clause 6, aiders and abettors are also committing high treason. But I'm signing on the PCO. Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, the judges, we all know for the past 7 decades, Pakistan have been governed by most of the corrupt politicians. Those in lust for power, fame, and efforts to become multi-billionaires, millionaires in dollars. It was a politician who I blame the tragedy of East Pakistan, not the military. It was him, the known socialist, so-called socialist, रोटी और कपड़ा मकान वाला लीडर जुल्फकार अली भुट्टो, who is responsible for breakup of Pakistan. I wish the judges should have demanded to take his body out of the grave and to hang at the Constitution Avenue after a retrial, treason trial. But nobody. We all know about the proxy wars against Pakistan, the filthiest conspiracies against the stability and security of Pakistan. Who has been failing all this? Armed forces of Pakistan, not the politicians. I could never ever see them any international forum fighting for Pakistan. The armed forces of Pakistan, which I salute them, I admire them, adore them from the depth of my heart and soul. They are the one whose sweat and blood saved Pakistan from all kind of internal and external threats. Adversaries of Pakistan, now after having tried their level best to weaken Pakistan, are convinced that unless Pakistan armed forces aren't weakened, our vicious game plan cannot succeed. Nation could hear time to time Director General ISPR, General Asif Ghafoor, elaborating, mentioning, giving details of fifth generation warfare against Pakistan. But this verdict will unfortunately strengthen all those who are involved in this fifth generation warfare against Pakistan's integrity, stability, sovereignty, security. I'm afraid to say this. Chief Justice, Supreme Court, the judges of Supreme Court and the higher court, after having said all this, I am ready to face an open public trial. Contempt of court and for the verdict, to face a capital punishment, hang till death, or even you can have a better scenario, ordering a guillotine again at the Constitution Avenue of Islamabad, and put my head under the guillotine. Because I have lost complete faith in Pakistan's legal and justice system. After this, this verdict is an irreparable loss against our armed forces, Pakistan Army. I, Khalid Ahmed, living in this democratic country, would support any military action, any takeover in Pakistan, whenever it is required, whenever the system isn't functioning, because military was always forced because of the malfunctioning of the governments, leaving no choice for Pakistan Army. And those who are critic of the military's influence in governance, in policy making, let me tell you, once I debated with the advisor of George Bush, the President of the United States, who I always call as a war criminal, and I have demanded many times to the judges and the presidents of the Supreme Court and to the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court to bring George Bush, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, and Tony Blair, bring them to The Hague, throw them in the Hague prison, put them on trial on war crimes which they committed. So coming back to my debate with George Bush advisor, it was first tenure of President Obama. During debate, he said, while we were talking and discussing about President Obama's efforts to abstain from military interventions, for global justice and some other things, his election promises, which he could never fulfill. So that advisor to Mr. Bush, he said, generals will not let him do this. I stood up and I said, General, I'm astonished and I'm shocked that you are telling me that the one who is resident of the White House in Washington, D.C., who is known as the most powerful president of at our planet Earth, cannot do anything because Pentagon will not let him do this. Chief Justice of Pakistan, the judges, and whoever is listening me, whoever is against Pakistan Army's influence on foreign policy, on internal policies, governance, I can assure you even not only the United States Army, but the armies, the militaries of the European Union too, are contributing towards foreign policy, defense policy, and internal policies. Even in Netherlands, dozens of times during the defense and foreign affairs standing committees of Dutch Parliament, while I was also sitting there, I could see the generals in their uniform sitting together with the foreign minister, defense minister, development minister, and discussing and talking about the Dutch policies. I'm extremely sorry that the quality of my video might not be of a good standard. Last few days, I lost my appetite. I could not sleep even. That what is happening in Pakistan. At the end, once again, I offer myself to be tried in any court of Pakistan for a definite verdict for death punishment. I swear to Almighty Allah that I would put the rope in my neck happily for the sake of my motherland and specifically for the respect and pride of Pakistan Armed Forces. I, being a son of soldier, brother of soldier, uncle of soldiers, I have nothing living in this richest economy. I have nothing in my bank balance. That was never ever my dream. But yes, I am rich with my patriotism. I am rich that I am son of the soil. I am rich that I could defend the interests of my motherland, my love, my pride, Islamic Republic of Pakistan. खुदा ताला अफवाज पाकिस्तान और पाकिस्तान के शहरियों, ओवरसीज पाकिस्तानी हो या पाकिस्तान में हो, खुदा ताला आप सभी को महफूज रखे। अल्लाह ताला पाकिस्तान को दुश्मनों, अंदरूनी और बैरूनी दुश्मनों के वार से महफूज रखे। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।